Hello, I am Hyunji UK Jang, a lead teacher working at Jinnam Middle School. You are going to learn how to easily create app programs with students using App Inventor. Let's look at what we're going to learn today. First, the process of creating an app using App Inventor. Secondly, we will make an English word pronunciation test app using the second App Inventor. There are two contents of this class. The first content is about the process of creating an app using App Inventor. It is about finding out what is needed to develop an app and in what order to create the app. The second content consists of actually making an English word pronunciation test application in accordance with the App Inventor development order. The first content is about the process of creating an app. In order to make apps using App Inventor, I will first introduce what App Inventor is and what you can create with App Inventor. App Inventor is a programming language jointly developed by Google and MIT University. Unlike other programming languages, App Inventor does not have a separate installation program. You can access the App Inventor website through the internet, and develop Android applications anytime, anywhere. What can you do with App Inventor? With App Inventor, it is possible to develop applications using various functions of Android smartphones. You can create applications using media functions such as cameras and video devices in your smartphone, and you can also make various applications by using the smartphone sensor, GPS, location detection, proximity sensor, etc. Let's take a look at what you need to make an App Inventor program. First, you will need a Chrome browser or Opera or Safari browser. App Inventor does not install a separate program, but connects to the internet and writes a program. However, Internet Explorer does not support App Inventor. Second, you need a Google account. A Google account is required to use App Inventor. The third is to access the App Inventor site. To access the App Inventor site, you must go through several steps. Step 1. Search for App Inventor in Google. When connected to the App Inventor site, click the Create Apps button. Step 2. Log in with your Google ID. Step 3. I agree to the terms of service. Step 4. Check App Inventor notices. Step 5. Respond to surveys. When the welcome message appears, you are done. If you want to change the language, just change it. You are logged into the App Inventor site. Click the Resources, Get Started menu on the top menu of the App Inventor homepage. Let's take a look at the process of developing an app using App Inventor in order. Here is a guide on how to set up an app to develop and test an app with App Inventor. There are 4 ways to set it up, and you can see that it is strongly recommended how to test Android or iPhone by connecting to the Wi-Fi internet. It guides you through the 4 setup methods for testing. I will only explain how to test the first method by connecting the smartphone and Wi-Fi. You can check the rest of the methods by clicking on the provided link. Then, we will learn how to connect a smartphone and a computer via Wi-Fi. Step 1. Download and install the MIT App Inventor app from the Play Store or App Store on your smartphone. Step 2. Make sure your computer and smartphone are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. Step 3. Click Connect and AI Companion in the top menu of the App Inventor site. A QR code screen appears on your computer screen. After running the MIT AI2 Companion app on your smartphone, scan QR code, click the Scan QR Code button and scan the QR code on your computer. After a few seconds, you can see that the app is running. App Inventor consists of 2 screens: Designer and Blocks Editor. You can use Designer to create interface of app. You can add to the app by selecting the components you want among the components in the palette and dragging and dropping them on the viewer. Viewer can check how the component dragged and dropped from the palette is displayed on the smartphone screen. Components shows the list of components used in the app hierarchically. Properties can change properties such as color and size of the selected component. The block editor allows you to program the behavior of components by assembling blocks. The bullet-in drawers block is composed of blocks related to general operation: drag and drop on the viewer screen to combine command blocks to make the component work. A component-specific block is a collection of block commands for each component. You can share the app in the form of source code, .ir, that can be uploaded and modified in App Inventor. Or you can share it as an executable file, .app, that can be installed on the device, smartphone. Here's how to share your editable app source, .ir, select Projects, export selected project, .ir, to export the project's source code, block. The source code is downloaded as a .ir file. Select Projects, Import Selected Project, .ir, to my computer, for the .ir file sent by a friend. Share the app to install it on other devices, Android only for now. Select Build, Android app, .app, in App Inventor to create a file that you can install. You can email your friends from your phone or you can upload them to your website. Users who install the app will need to change the settings on their smartphone to be able to install non-market programs. Let's make an app that actually tests the pronunciation of English words according to the App Inventor development method. Step 1 is after clicking the Start New Project button, enter pronunciation in the project name. Step 2 is the screen design. Let's configure the screen as shown in the picture.
Let's design the screen while watching the video. In Components, click Screen 1. Scroll down Properties and enter Pronunciation in Title. After selecting a label from the user interface of the palette, drag and drop it on the viewer. Label 1 appears in Components. In the properties of Label 1, deleted text value. Enter the height value as 10 pixels. After selecting horizontal arrangement T from the SI out of palette, drag and drop it on the viewer. Among the properties of horizontal arrangement T1, and enter the width value as fill parent. Select the line horizontal as center, 3. After selecting the text box in palette's user interface, drag it and drop it on the viewer. Enter word in hint among properties of text box 1. After selecting the label in palette's user interface, drag and drop it on the viewer. Enter the width value of 7 pixels among the properties of label 2. After selecting a button in the user interface of palette, drag and drop it on the viewer. After selecting image among the properties of button 1, upload the speaker.png file through upload file. With button 1 selected, click the Rename button of Components, and input Listen. After selecting a label from the user interface of the palette, drag and drop it on the viewer. Enter the width value of 20 pixels among the properties of label 3. After selecting a button in the user interface of palette, drag and drop it on the viewer. With button 1 selected, click the Rename button of Components, and input Speak. Among the properties of button 1, select font size as 20. Height as 80 pixels, width as 80 pixels, and shape as oval. Change text value to speak and text color to white. Selecting a label in the user interface of palette, drag and drop it on the viewer. Enter the width value of 10 pixels among the properties of label 4. After selecting a label from the user interface of the palette, drag and drop it on the viewer. With label 5 selected, click the Rename button of Components and input Word. Enter the font size value of 17 among the properties of label 5. Among the properties of screen 1, select Align Horizontal as Center, 3. Select Speech Recognizer from Media of Palette, and drag and drop it on the viewer. It is not displayed in the viewer, but is displayed at the bottom of the smartphone shape as non-visible components. Selecting Text to Speech from Media of Palette, drag and drop it on the viewer.
The screen design has been completed. Let's start with block coding so that each component can work. Before we do block coding, let's think about the algorithm that will be used in this app. The algorithm used in this app can be divided into 3 parts. The first part is, input a word in the text box, click the listen button, and the word entered in the text box will be heard. Please refer to the block coding 1 figure for the combined form of the instruction block related to the first algorithm and the instruction blocks. The second part is when you click the speak button and speak get the text by calling Speech Recognizer 1. Please refer to the block coding 2 figure for the combined form of the instruction block related to the second algorithm and the instruction blocks. The third part, after Speech Recognizer 1 gets the text, specifies the imported text result value is the text value of the word label. If the text box 1 text value and the imported text result value are the same, call text to speech 1 and say the message correct. Or call text to speech 1 to say the message wrong. Refer to block coding 3 figure for the combined form of the instruction block related to the third algorithm and the instruction blocks.
Let's practice block coding related to algorithm 1. Click the listen component in blocks. Among the blocks related to the listen component, drag and drop the when listen click do block to the viewer. Click the text to speech 1 component in blocks. Drag and drop the call text to speech 1 speak message block to the viewer. Click the text box 1 component in blocks. Among the blocks related to the text box 1 component, drag and drop the text box 1 text block to the viewer. Let's practice block coding related to algorithm 2. Drag and drop the blocks related to the speak component. When speak click do block to the viewer. Click the Speech Recognizer 1 component. Drag and drop the Call Speech Recognizer 1. Get text block to the viewer. Let's practice block coding related to algorithm 3. Click the Speech Recognizer 1 component in blocks. Drag and drop the Speech Recognizer 1 after getting text block to the viewer. Drag and drop the set word text to block among the blocks related to the word component to the viewer. Combine the set word text to block with the do part of when Speech Recognizer 1. After getting text block, you put the mouse cursor on the result part of the when Speech Recognizer 1. After getting text block, for about 2 seconds. The get result block appears. Click built-in control in blocks. Drag and drop the if then else block to the viewer. Click built-in logic in blocks. Drag and drop the equals block to the viewer. When Speech Recognizer 1 combines with the first part of the if comparison expression in the when Speech Recognizer 1 after getting text block. Click the text box 1 component in blocks. Drag and drop the text box 1 text block among the blocks related to the text box 1 component to the viewer. Click the text to speech 1 component in blocks. Drag and drop the call text to speech 1 speak message block to the viewer. Click built-in logic in blocks. Combine the empty text block with the message part of the call text to speech 1 speak message block. Enter the contents of the empty text block as correct. Click the call text to speech 1 speak message block you just created, and if you right-click, a pop-up menu appears. If you select duplicate, it will be copied. Change text correct to wrong.
Block coding is complete. Let's check if the app works well. Click Connect AI Companion in the top menu of App Inventor. You can see that the QR code is generated. Run the MIT App Inventor app on your smartphone. After clicking the Scan QR code button in the launched app, scan the QR code on the computer screen. Please check whether the executed English pronunciation test app works well. Can I create an installation file for iPhone with App Inventor? The answer is X. You can't create. App Inventor can only create installation files for Android. The keywords we learned today are App Inventor and MIT AI2 Companion. Developing an app with App Inventor, and to check whether the developed app works, you can check only by installing the MIT AI2 Companion app on your smartphone. In order to develop an Android app, please remember the 2 essential keywords. So far, we have looked at creating learning materials using App Inventor. Thank you.